license in a BEM say, also club be a board. As of now, Kotoko continue produce a board for the team. I have seen Anna and Rane. As a former management member of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the way Kotoko say, yeah, running me. The point so I don't know. And as a wolf to be out the member, I am seeing a same penny for regarding how it must be run.
I was a fan person starting.
No, starting free Kotoko, how it is being run now, and they umuni a year board now, no, shall say free mommy.
I thought I board at 7 now, say you drew club license because I wanted to generalize it.
Generalize it.
Say the reason why a club needs to have a board.
Board, okay.
To conform to the FA's regulations.
Okay.
Because the FA's regulations are clear. All clubs are supposed to be registered as limited liability companies under the Companies Act, Act 992, which is the current one. It used to be Act 1963, but it's now Act 992.
Okay.
They are supposed to be registered. If you are registered as a limited liability company, the regulations of the club, as per a war company's house registry, requires you to have a board.
Okay.
Every limited liability company has to have a board. It is if you are not conforming to the terms of your registration with the Companies Act, you cannot be conforming to the FA regulation. FA regulation is that you need to be a limited liability company.
Okay.
The limited liability company, the reason why FA wanted you to be a limited liability company is that he wants the club to be run in a particular way.
Okay.
So as you say. And so the regulations require, the company's regulations also requires you to have a board and hold annual general meetings.
Okay.
So basically, say when you board that, it means you are not conforming to the terms of the Companies Act. Which also means that you are not conforming to the FA's regulations.
Okay.
And so that's the only thing I can say about the board. And it's not peculiar to only Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And so in the next licensing period, the FA has asked us to make sure we impose, making sure so all the regulations, the club licensing regulations are respected.
Okay.
So this one is not about Kumasi Asante. They are just throwing it out.
Okay. That
a club doesn't qualify to play in the Premier League if it doesn't conform to the FA's regulations.
So for instance, Kotoko, a board from now. No, I know. That's why you are generalizing.
Club licensing board, we normally talk in general terms. You don't pick on a particular club.
So if any club feels to say we need a board for next season, there will be a sanction.
Probably they won't play in the Premier League.
Kotoko only board is say
when Kotoko, I see any club that doesn't have a board, and as at the time they apply to play in the 2024-2025 Premier League, will not be given a license to play.
Grace period,
there's nothing like a grace period. You know the rules. You know that's why we are saying it now. For instance, another one: all clubs are supposed to have a youth team, a registered youth team, not just on paper. They should have been, the players of the youth team should have been registered with the FA in the FIFA Connect system.
Wow.
To qualify to be a Premier League club. This year, a few Premier League clubs might qualify to be in the Premier League, but they might not have a license to play in the Premier League.
How?
They qualify on sporting merit. He wasn't relegated at the end of the season. Or he was promoted from Division 1 to Premier. But he couldn't meet the club licensing regulations. And he cannot play in the Premier League.
What becomes of that club?
I know they are between you and the FA. Yeah, because you don't have a license to play in a competition. How do you play?
But why are you starting it now? Because these are regulations.
No, it's been there. It's been there, and I'm saying this.
But more enforcing from next season.
No, you see, it is something that will be helping the clubs. Licensing and regulation is not always about punishing people for not doing the right thing. You also motivate you to do the right thing. And so the approach we've taken over the years is that let's encourage. The last board that Kotoko for me, it was on the promptings of the club licensing board. I had fined them so that at that time were imposing stiff punishment.
Okay.
Which was not the same as withdrawing the license.
Okay.
We were giving them financial monetary punishments. And we are fining Kumasi Asante Kotoko, for instance, about 20,000 Ghana cedis for not having a board. And we had indicated that if by a certain time frame they have not, the fine increases to 50,000 Ghana, and would have continued increasing it. And you know, when a fine is imposed, next when within the time frame, FA regulations, other clubs will bet you protest. And quickly, they did that. So it is not new. This time around, the FA has access to implement the laws and do away with the monetary fines. It's either you have the license or you don't have the license.
Wow.
It's either you've done what the regulations say until you amount of license, and answer when you any regulations they can until amount of license.
Wow.
So I don't want to pick on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And it's not only about board that can stop you from
not playing. Other
including not paying the snitch contributions of your players. And not having a tax clearance certificate.
Okay.
Not paying your tax. These are all on the books. Previously we used to fine them. Okay. But you're realizing say over time fine and CAF has also insisted, said they want to review now because so now this is where it becomes interesting. The reason why imperative say implementing the laws as contained in the club licensing regulations, because first need a boa clubs gradually.
Okay.
Now club licensing a movie away from the paperwork now onto a CAF licensing online platform.
Okay.
Meaning say information be a club be able submitting the day of submitting the CAF has a copy. So CAF they say the CAF na tracking information.
Then it
the club been submitting the board information on the board. Now when to submit your CAF you say one submit. And by the CAF regulations, it's a category A, criteria A.
Yeah.
Meaning says a one year or in this amount of license. Like the youth team one, you need to have a youth team. At least one youth team.
Yeah.
Either under 17 or under 15 or registered in the FIFA connect system. You can't say for that information, a share system, unyamaye and amebo. Where nyama was so a calf in him say where nyama. And Nyame Kwame Baniako. And I may catch the calf for say where nyama so until still I was here the license near day. A man. Because the system has changed. Last year they introduced you the online platform, but then you're mandatory by CAF.
Okay.
Now at that time Ghana, any one of the few countries experimenting with the online platform.
I remember Bahama deal.
Exactly. Several African countries way behind Ghana on that. CAF were commending several for adopting that for our Premier League. However, because it was not mandatory, now CAF and take it seriously this infractions.
Yeah.
CAF how you dealing with clubs are only board. You dealing with clubs are no more meeting regulations, which was a monetary fine. But now CAF is saying this year,
okay,
all African FAs should use the online platform for at least their topmost league.
Okay.
So in Ghana, our topmost league is the Premier League.
Okay.
CAF say the online platform they are mandatory, compulsory say we use, which also means any requirement in the system has to be met.
But dog, not just say it's likely say next season you more 18 club league or
and then me and I maybe come money no shares are uncommon clubs no be determine say about 18 club league and I see about 15 club league and I see about 12 club league and yet club licensing board ne determine musu and then mobile and they be determine whether you about 13 club league 14 club league. Every cry about boy, best set the right examples. A man for way son. clubs in the in actual fact they are not really clubs in the pure sense.